This I bought about 3/4 of a year ago, during the many good reviews, that it was really playable. It was a fun little thing. I needed for something serious because I was intending to go traveling with it and to play serious, not relying on all kinds of tools which I had along with me. So it had to be small for on the plane, of course, and so I'm everything as small as possible. I use for this a Vox Amplug lead, and not to have it hanging around in my guitar and not knowing what I'm doing here. I just place it on a little stand and put a guitar input there. Here you go. I can dial on the spot everything, seeing it, knowing what I'm doing, playing for public outside most of the time. Attached to it are two Anchor Soundcore Boost speakers, hard to get these times. I used to do it with Blackstar Fly 3, but these things sound a lot better. There is bass in them actually, which lacks a little bit of by a Blackstar Fly 3. They are not so loud as the Blackstar Fly 3, but wow man, they give a sound. Of course, this is recorded on a Samsung S6, which is not really the source to... There's not expensive mic, so you hear what you hear on your YouTube video as well. So, a thing. I bought it, I hesitated it, but such good reviews from guitar celebs like Anderton and everything, and other people.
As well.
But I found out they actually play the thing, cash in on it probably,
Hello, folks. Scott Grove here.
put the thing away and never take it up again. That must be the case, because I took it apart. Out of the box it looks nice, but it's a piece of crap, which I seldom have seen since my last years ago Squier Infinity Squier Bullet from China, which hardly stayed in tune one song or a few notes even before it went out of tune. And then they claim that it's one piece of maple going through the neck, and the wings are a mahogany. Well, I took the thing apart, and you can see in the pictures it's nothing neck through. It's one big mess of pieces and blocks and stuff glued together. It's a wonder it even have sustain. But it isn't the worst of all. That isn't the worst of all. The pickups out of the box, horrible. I'm used to good pickups, usually DiMarzio, Sim or Dunk and stuff like that. And I had a hard time because these holes, they're really small. I had a hard time to put good pickups in, especially a Seymour Duncan middle pickup, SSL1 probably I had in, because the cavity here is straight. You can't put any normal single coil pickup inside. So I had to really grind out the whole cavity behind it and find out what kind of shit wood it was. It's unbelievable. I also put push-pull pot in, which was very hard too, but I managed somehow with a lot of drilling and a lot of doing. Decent switch you have to put in because the factory. The neck, and I found the neck much like a baseball bat, like Gibsons. I don't play any Gibson, I'm sorry. I play Fenders and I play most of the time fast Ibanez Wizard 2 necks. Nothing of it. It was really thick, so I shaved it down. I shaved it down really a few millimeters just to make it more D, flat D shape. But somebody warned me on YouTube, if you do that, watch the Steinberger, because the truss rod is just under the surface. Don't go too far over, straight into your face. It was the case, almost. I drilled through holes, 1 millimeter holes in it, and I just, indeed, a few millimeters away were the truss rod. So you'll be warned if you do this. But I shaved the neck and made it a more flat, especially around here for my thick, not guitar fingers. And okay, so if you put the truss rod too stiff, it comes out one day. Of course, I didn't agree with the 10 gauge strings, because there's two things about it. Everybody, David Gilmour, Steve Vai, a whole bunch of them, they play 9 gauge strings. No myth about it. So you have to go for an adapter, of course. And there is one thing more. There are a lot of things more before you can make this playable, durable playable. Not just, hey, it's a nice guitar, so put it away. Well, it was good. It sounds good. It didn't even sound good out of the box. But the bridge, they describe the bridge on the side as 1 to 40. If you turn the string, it's not even 1 to 10, probably 1 to 3. It wiggles. The bridge itself, it's not steel. It has nothing to do with it. It's a very soft kind of pot metal, zinc, I believe, which makes the string pull. Makes a lot of users of this Steinberger were not so satisfied. It makes the bridge moves towards the body, and you get a lot of creaking. I don't have it yet, but that's why only a reason already why you should put on the 9 gauge strings, because there is less string pull from it. I had another strange thing. I never break strings almost. My high E string was all the time unwrapping somehow, and bing, it goes loose. I had to solder it. Also a tip from another YouTuber. Yeah, and still when I take it off to a wall, my Ibanez gem is, after half year, it's still in tune. This one is out of tune when you look at it. Even now, after playing, I have to check it again if I play something else. The trim, I really not make it non-floating. I really let it get back on this position, just only, and that's already a risk, because if you do that 10 times, it's out of tune, everything. I didn't take the bridge yet apart because I saw others doing it, and no, I only when it reached the level that it touches the body and it starts creaking, I take it apart and find something about it. Enough tips on the internet, but I think due to the 9 gauge strings I put on from the beginning on, it still stays okay. So no 10 strings, only 9 strings. I use always the Slinky Ernie Ball 9s with the adapter, of course. Much more easy. You can choose your own strings. It's nothing to do with maple or stuff like that. It's not neck through. It's here. It about ends the neck, and it starts to. You can, when I took the pickup out, when I took this one out, you see all blocks and pieces all glued together. It's if you get inside, it's a mess. It's worse than plywood. But anyway, I wanted to get a guitar for traveling, a reliable guitar, because if you only occasionally play it and put it back in the corner, forget all this. But I wanted a guitar which I play in the desert with my portable stuff, and I'm not to have string breaks and have my pliers and everything right at hand to repair the thing. So the wiring has to be good, the pickups have to be good, the switch has to be good, the input has to be good. No malfunctioning in the middle of nowhere where I sometimes play. And well, to tell you something more about the, I used to go with a Black Star Fly 3. It's really good stuff, but I found out that the Vox Amplug lead can do pretty good clean tones if you just dim it a little bit. It can go on real lead, which I show later. And if you put it kind of speakers like GBL Charge, these ones are much cheaper. They're 60 bucks or 120 bucks a pair here in Europe. And you can do clean tones with them. Look. Some last words. So buy it if you can't really do some maintenance, if you're not a luthier. Buy this thing if you use it only occasionally. You'll not be able to work with tools and luthier tools and stuff like this. If you're a little bit handy, you have to do work on it. That's my recommendation. Should you buy it as to play full time? Nope, absolutely not. Just you need to do the mods I did. The standard pickups are horrible. The bridge is horrible. You need to buy a string adapter. Put 9 strings, 9 gauge on it. Do something about the wiring, and that's the least you must do to make it, to keep it playable. Because this bridge is zinc alloy mixed with aluminium, I believe. Mine still doesn't squeak, but you have to be careful. Never use the floating trim because it won't stay in tune at all. What I have more, I built a little case for it because I really plan to travel with it. Made it myself because there are not really cases. You don't have to do this, but I did. A nice light wooden case with, you know, some things and some basic tools in it. Because when I'm on the road, I'm really on the road. Some plectrum, some picks, a little screwdriver. You see, it's my little case for the Steinberger. It's almost like a coffin. At least it get a decent burial when it dies. And for comments, talk to the hand.